I like that one. It's my first one.
Wait,
I didn't get one. I like it. Yeah. Very like classic.
yeah.
Kings for Boston Jimmy.
You raised to 1,000?
Oh, and aces for Rampage. So Jimmy had aces earlier, ran them into a set and lost a huge pot, and now he's got kings against aces. And wow, how good is Rampage running? By far the biggest winner so far today, thanks to that massive hand against Wesley. And now he's got aces against kings. There were several players yet to act. And the camera hit Rampage for a second there, and I thought, oh, he looks like he's got something.
Gamble, gamble.
Heads up.
Playing 25, 50, 100. Adam opens it up under the gun with King 10 offsuit, which is a little bit loose, but whatever. Over round to Boston Jimmy. He makes it 1,000 bucks with the pocket kings. Perfectly fine, perfectly standard. Over round to Rampage. In this video for PokerNews.com, he makes it 4,500. That may sound kind of big. Went 300, 1,000, 4,500. But out of position, you really want to get rid of whatever implied odds your opponents have. And playing $48,000 deep effective against Boston Jimmy, Rampage wants to make it pretty big. If stacks were much shallower, like let's say they were $18,000 each, then you can make it smaller. But in general, you're going to find that from out of position, you want to be making it something like 4 times the last raise, maybe even 4.5 or 5 times the last raise, depending on how deep you are. And as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, you should usually make it larger and larger from out of position, as Rampage does. Adam, of course, folds. Back to Boston Jimmy. This is a spot where a lot of people blunder and they re-raise or they go all in. And when that happens, you're going to get called almost entirely by aces. This is a spot where in position, you're going to want to do a ton of calling and almost no re-raising. And most of your re-raises are going to come from ace-x suited bluffs and pocket aces. And that's it. Hands like pocket kings much prefer to call and see the flop.
Jimmy just calls. $10,850 and almost $10,000 already in there. Rampage can just think about how to get this in, I think.
10,000.
He bets pot. And I wonder if Jimmy is just going to shove here. He played his aces so fast on that 7-4-3 board earlier.
Call.
No, just a call.
Flop comes 10, 8, 5, 2 clubs. Rampage pots it, setting up what, in my mind, is obviously a turn shove on most turns. This is an interesting spot for Rampage because he has to figure out if he should go for a medium flop bet, a medium turn bet, and then shove river, or if he should just bet big on the flop and then jam turn. You want to make sure, whichever you decide, that you have that plan in mind. A lot of people make the mistake of betting a little bit too small on the flop, and then they have this weird, awkward stack size on the turn. So you typically want to avoid that if possible. So I like the Rampage went big. That said, I think with the ace of clubs, you don't mind going small because a club is not even all that bad for you on the turn because then you have the nut flush draw to go with your pocket aces. Rampage does go for 10K though. And over to Jimmy, it's a tough spot because he almost always has the best hand in this situation. His problem is that if he calls, there are going to be a lot of bad turns for him. Any ace, queen, or jack, or 10 is not particularly great because Rampage could obviously make sets or 3 of a kind or top pair with an ace. And also clubs are pretty bad too. When you almost always have the best hand, but you're very vulnerable, you typically want to shove. Jimmy's problem is that he's maybe a little bit too deep stacked to shove in this scenario. I think I probably would have shoved in his spot, although it's certainly rough. Obviously, Rampage would have called, I would have lost all my money, and Rampage would have rampaged me again. But Jimmy decides to take the cautious route. Let's head to the turn.
Jack, and Rampage might be faintly concerned about Jimmy having jacks. But I don't think there's enough depth here to really worry about it too much. Here it comes. All in from Rampage. Jimmy doesn't snap call. Maybe a little bit snake bit by that aces hand earlier. But I don't see him folding here.
The commentator says that Jimmy might be slightly tilted due to losing with aces recently. And now he has kings and he's in a rough spot. What I want to know is there a particular hand that you think that you consistently lose with in poker? Is it aces? Is it jacks? Is it tens? I seem to always lose with a 7-2 offsuit. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't do very well jack 4 offsuit either. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below which hand gives you the most trouble. While you're down there, click the like and subscribe button too. Thank you. When the turn comes to jack of spades, Rampage does now lose to queen 9 suited, if Jimmy has that, which, you know, he could be a little bit loose. Queen 9 of clubs, though, makes some sense. He also loses to jack 10 suited. There's only 2 combinations of that. And he loses to pocket jacks. There's 3 combinations of that. On top of the pocket 10s and pocket 8s and maybe pocket 5s. That said, I think Rampage just has a super duper easy shove in this scenario. Kind of like Jimmy on the flop where I was recommending ripping it all in over Rampage's big flop bet. I think now Rampage almost always has the best hand, but he's going to be somewhat vulnerable against Jimmy's range. So when that is the case, you usually want to bet big. And when you have roughly a pot size bet, that is almost always going to be the right play. Rampage does Rampage's money into the pot. I love the way he's played this hand. Let's watch Jimmy get stacked.
Rampage could certainly have something like ace king of clubs, ace queen of clubs. And he's known to be a bit of a bluffer sometimes. Credit to Jimmy for thinking this long.
You're running good.
That's true. Really the only value hand Jimmy beats is queens, and I'm not sure Rampage even plays queens like this on a 10-8-5 jack board.
That was a cooler, buddy. You're running good.
Wow, nice fold by Boston Jimmy. Wow.
Aces. So that'd be good. That'd be good to have.
Huh?
What, you folded queens or something?
Oh, a big hand.
Cool.
Big hand. Peace. Big hand. Very big hand. Yeah.
I'm very surprised to see that fold. Well done.
Somehow, someway, Boston Jimmy decides to fold the kings against lunatic Rampage Poker. That's insane. Somehow he's right. Good read, Boston Jimmy. Rampage. That's embarrassing. Whenever you get aces against kings, it's very important that you stack your opponent. If you do not stack your opponent when you have aces against kings and it's a bunch of low cards on the board, You're going to have a tough time winning at Poker Rampage. I'm sorry. You'll get good one day. Good luck in your games. Have fun. Make the most of your opportunities. If you enjoyed this video, click the like and subscribe buttons down below. Also, if you want to learn more from Rampage Poker, I actually think he's really good at poker. He has some content available on pokercoaching.com right now. Head over there. Check it out. He has a series where him and Brock Wilson discuss how to smash tournaments. Since starting to work with Brock, Rampage has won 2 $10,000 buy-in or higher tournaments. Good job, good work. Good luck in your games. Have fun. Thank you for being here. And I'll talk to all of you next time.